Welcome to our study called Good News of Great Joy, looking at Luke 2:10 and Nehemiah 8:9 through 10. Let's start with Luke 2:10, which says, "And in the same region there were shepherds out in the fields, keeping watch over the flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear. And the angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord." Now the announcement of the birth of Jesus to shepherds was an announcement of great joy. The long-awaited Savior had come. This was not a day of fear. This was not a day of grieving and sadness, but a day of joy. The Savior had finally come. Was there a reason for fear? Well, the immediate circumstance of these shepherds would say yes. The shepherds were out in the fields in the darkness of night, and all of a sudden there's this glowing man appears, and that would be enough to strike fear in the hearts of even the strongest of hearts. But once you realize what is standing before you, your mind must begin to race. When an angel appears shining in the glory of the Lord, who knows what to expect next? Are they coming in judgment? Are you dead? Are they coming to escort you to your eternal destiny? What is happening? They probably had the same reaction as Mary when Gabriel visited her. She was greatly troubled at the saying and was trying to discern what sort of greeting this might be. Mary and the shepherds did not know that the fullness of time had come. It was here. It was already there. She was unaware that this time was sacred to the Lord her God. She didn't know what was happening. It was not a time to mourn or a time to weep or a time to be afraid. It was a time to celebrate. It was a time of joy. The Prince of Peace had come. The embodiment of the joy of the Lord had stepped into the world. These ideas of joy and peace were not new concepts at the time of the birth of Christ. The Old Testament is full of calls to joy. The Psalms, for instance, repeatedly call for rejoicing in the Lord. Joy because of what God has done. That's what this announcement was. So, joy because of what God has done was not a new announcement from the angels, but a call to rekindle the joy that should have been in the hearts of God's people from the beginning. One of the most memorable calls to joy in the Old Testament is found in the book of Nehemiah. I realize that Nehemiah is not a typical Advent text, which is unfortunate because there are many parallels to what's going on. The joy that would enter the hearts of the shepherds on that night, and the people in Nehemiah's day was the same joy that has entered the hearts of God's children ever since Adam and Eve heard about the offspring of the woman crushing the serpent's head. Let's read Nehemiah 8:9 through 10. And let's consider 4 questions about joy. First, what is joy? Second, what about grief? How does joy and grief? We know as Christians we're supposed to be joyful, but what about when we grieve? And then how is the joy of the Lord our strength? And what is the response of joy? So we're going to look at all 4 of those questions. What is joy? What about grief? What is the response of joy? And how is the joy of the Lord our strength? As we go through this series, I want to think about these questions, especially this time of year when we talk about the coming of Christ.